I think I slept on one of the days for like 18 hours.
Seriously? Wow, like a baby.
The boys were like, should we go to the pub? And I was like, already snoozing. So yeah,
But yeah, if we start from the top, just to introduce, what you've done, because I've got so many questions. But yeah, Rob's basically did 5 Ironmans in 7 days. Just remind me of the distances.
So 3.8k swim, 180k bike, and then a marathon.
Marathon at the end. Absolutely
It's
insane.
Yeah.
And you did it for a really good set of causes. So it was November.
Yeah.
And then and did you? So just wanted to kind of start by introducing what you've done, which is incredible. So well done.
Thanks,
unbelievable. Yeah. And I guess do we just carry on talking about just how you're feeling? I mean, obviously, sometimes a good structure is kind of low light, highlight, most surprising thing that happens. If we start with any highlights for you?
Highlights for me, it's probably spending the amount of time I did with my family.
Really? Yeah.
My dad works away on cruise ships.
Okay.
Has worked away since I've been a little boy, like in the Navy and then on cruise ships now. So I've never spent a prolonged period of time with him or my mum. And I was obviously with them for like 18 hours, 19 hours of the day solidly. Yeah. Which was quite cool. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
That would probably be the first highlight. And the second one was probably the finish line, having like all my friends and family there.
Must have been like euphoric.
Just an unreal feeling. I absolutely caned the last 10k of the run on the last day. I was like, I don't care what falls off me now. I'll just get to the end. And the finish was at the bandstand in Clapham, for those that know it. And there's sort of loads of different roads that come off of it to lead up to it.
Oh, yeah.
There's one dead straight one that leads up to it. And I could see everyone waiting there. I said to everyone, I'll probably be about 10:45 finish, something like that. And I was really at the end of that road by about 10:30. So I just sat there at the bench at the end. I could see them all there dancing around, having drinks and everything. They didn't know I was there. I just sat there for 15 minutes by myself. So that's quite nice to just sort of like process everything that had gone on.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
And sort of get through everything. And then obviously the finish line was special.
Yeah, I can imagine. It must have been kind of like relief. Pride. It must have been really happy.
Yeah, it was a bit of everything, to be honest. A lot of relief though. Yeah. So I think by that time I was like, I've suffered enough.
Now it's time to eat.
Can we just celebrate now?
And how was the body feeling at that time? From what I kind of gathered, it sounded like your body held up like quite nicely.
Absolutely fine, which I wasn't expecting. Yeah. Expecting all the issues with like IT ban and everything like that. I was expecting everything to flare up. Yeah. And I mean, nothing really did. Obviously, sore feet, blisters, the things that going to happen anyway, aren't they? But the mind was a struggle. That was tough. That's probably the low light. Which kind of, in a way, is a low light, but I've kind of managed to make a positive spin on it. That was on the start of the 4th day. So on the 3rd day, in the swim, I started hallucinating. I didn't tell anyone at the time because I was like, they'll pull me from it. And I was like, I want to see how far I can go. And like a lane rope that you have that provides the lanes. The little bits of plastic which keep it afloat. I thought one of them was a human head. And every time I swam past it, I was like, it's a human head. What the hell is a dead human head doing? And I was like, obviously I knew it wasn't real, but it still looked like it was. So I was like, I'm just tired, whatever. And then I got on the bike and there's a lamppost that had been cut off at like sort of where it goes from the thick to the thin bit of the lamppost. And it had been wrapped in police tape. And I thought where the tape was sort of waving in the wind, I thought it was somebody waving at me. Up until I was probably as close as we are, and I was like, it's a lamppost.
That's insane.
And then obviously on the start of that 4th day, I just broke. I got like 2k into the swim. I just couldn't function. It wasn't sustainable.
It's mad. I mean, I guess you almost kind of did find like the almost like the limit. I guess.
I think so. Everyone was pushing me at that time to carry on. And I sort of said like, after I let everyone say their piece, I was like, guys, honestly, you don't understand. Like, there is no way I'm getting on the bike now. And it was, they didn't want me to go to bed that morning and wake up and regret the decision. And I woke up and I didn't regret it at all. I was like, it's 100% the right decision. And it was sort of trying to think, like, yeah, it's nice to say, it'd be cool to say, oh, I did 7 Ironmans in 7 days. But I think it's probably better to say I found my limit.
Yeah.
Took a couple of days rest and then bounced back off.
Yeah, and that's it. I think, it gets to a point where it wouldn't have been I mean, obviously it was challenging anyway, but it would have been a very different experience. Yeah.
I don't think it would have been feasible. There's some like truly remarkable athletes that have done. There's a guy who's just broken the world record now. He's just done 120.
Seriously,
120 days.
What? And
I think I was like looking at all of his media and everything like that, and I think the key is probably a lot of it is sleep.
Really? Because how much sleep are you getting?
Probably only getting 5 hours,
if
that.
Yeah.
We wasted a lot of time getting out of London on the bike.
Right.
Obviously, I was kind of tied to London because I was using 2 Team Lido as the pool because it's the biggest one in the area.
Yeah.
But you see some of these other guys that are setting these records, and this guy lives in like rural Germany.
Right.
So he swims in a lake that's on his doorstep, and then he goes straight into rural Germany, and there's no cars or anything, so you can just properly plough it out.
Okay. And then you just go straight down.
Significantly reduces his times and whatnot.
So do you think that's where the listening came from? Just like almost like sleep?
I think so.
Yeah.
Because physically, I felt fine.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like in terms of thinking about before all the training and then the actual event, the training was the physical feat. That was putting in all the hard work.
Yeah.
It took no mental sort of fortitude to be able to do that. It was just plugging away. Whereas it like flipped on its head when it got to the actual event.
Yeah.
So it was the physical stuff had already been done. I just needed to just keep going.
Yeah.
Whereas it was all up in the mind. And that was dark.
Yeah, because I think I caught a few posts that you did on Instagram like a few weeks before about the pain cave, and it almost gets kind of almost like spiritual, where you kind of almost testing yourself, I guess. Yeah. Would you say that there was elements of the training that was harder than the event?
100%.
Yeah.
I'd say the actual event was like long hours in the saddle. Yeah. A lot of running, but you prepared so well for it that you felt fine. Yeah. It was more injury prevention was probably the biggest thing. That was the biggest physical bit of it. Yeah. It was trying not to let the mind wander. That's what I really struggled with. Really? Yeah.
Because there's so much time. Yeah.
If you think about like a normal day, where we go about, any of us go about on normal days, you probably are not going to have like a 6-7 hour period where you're essentially completely by yourself with your mind wandering. Yeah. Doesn't really happen. You have some sort of stimulus, some sort of interaction, something happens. Yeah. Whereas when you're on that bike, I knew the route like the back of my hand. I didn't need my bike computer. I knew where the turns were. Right. So it's not like I really had to concentrate. Right. So by virtue of that, your mind then starts wandering, and you're already. I was midway through the bike already thinking about the next day's Ironman, and I hadn't even completed the one last day. I think that was the start of the change. Yeah. And what was going through your mind? Was it kind of just a relentlessness, or was it like physical pain, or? No, like I said, the legs were okay. Yeah. Wasn't breathing hard. I think that was maybe some of the downfall as well. It's an endurance event, so you're not going to be working incredibly hard. You're not going to get that endorphin buzz that you usually get from going on a nice hard run or a nice hard cycle or anything like that. So you don't feel like you're getting that reward from what you're doing. You're just literally plodding along. Yeah. And then I can't tell you when on the end of that third day, start of that fourth day, the anxiety that I had, really, just literally thinking about what was to come. Seriously, I knew what I had to do. Yeah. But I could not bring myself around to doing it. I've never felt like it before. Yeah. But I guess in a way beneficial that I've now felt it. I know what it feels like. Yeah. I know what I need to do to get past it. Yeah. Do you think this is like the hardest thing you've ever done? Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah. Physically, probably not. Yeah. Mentally, 100%. Yeah. Just there was no. You know, like if you do, a lot of people go out and do 10Ks, half marathons. You do Ironmans, and then you have a big celebration, and you get that sort of reward and that pat on the back, and you think, oh, I did something really good today. You celebrate with all your friends. I was getting to the end of the day at like 11, half 11, like 3 Ironmans deep, and it was like, right, quickly, ice bath, 10 minutes, 10-minute massage to bed. You've got to do the same again tomorrow. Jeez. And I think that starts to really play with you mentally, and that you've been slogging away for like 16 hours. Yeah. But it's always about the next day. You're not celebrating today. You're thinking
about
still
like a long way away. Yeah, when it's day 3 or even day 2. Yeah,
it was tough.
Yeah, and would you say, obviously support that was probably pretty crucial. Moral support, kind of obviously they actually kind of help provide all your nutrition and stuff.
It was probably, I wouldn't have got as far as I did if I didn't have my mum and dad there.
Yeah.
Like every 20k on the bike, they were there in the car waiting for me with the next hour's food and fresh water bottles. Every 6k on the bike, they were there waiting.
Yes.
And you think I was starting at 6 a.m, finishing whatever time. They were up like an hour or two either side of that as well.
Wow.
So they were sleeping for like 4 hours.
Jeepers.
Which was just wild. I actually spoke to them yesterday and they're like, we miss it. Just put the phone down straight away. Don't talk to me about that.
Let's get back on the horse.
Don't get any ideas. But yeah, without them, the organisational side of it would have been impossible. Even doing one Ironman in training, I was having to carry everything with me. And even that was just a logistical nightmare.
Yeah, I guess a lot of stuff to carry that nutrition-wise.
Exactly. Just a lot of organisational. And then obviously you got the other side of it, which is like the moral support you get from all your friends, your family. The amount of people on social media that I don't know that reached out and just told me cool stories about how it had like inspired them to do this, that, or the other. And I was like, that's why I'm doing it.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's nice to raise some money. It's nice to have a personal achievement. But it's these people who, one person said to me, I've been wanting to run 5k for a while now after putting on loads of weight. I've not got around to it. I saw what you did, and I've been out for my first run now, and now I'm doing the couch to 5k.
Seriously,
class. That's what you want.
That's amazing.
That's what you want.
Yeah. People definitely get really inspired. Yeah, I mean, with something like this, it's kind of the fact it's quite local and like a lot of press, and people probably feel quite connected to you, I guess. So the day after the rest day, we kind of just like, did you wake up feeling quite good?
So I called it on that Wednesday, didn't I? Yeah. And I thought, when I first went to sleep on that Wednesday, I thought I'll have 1 day's rest and then I'll do 3 back to back again. So it would have been 6 in 7 days. And I got to the end of that day's rest and I was like, I'm not there yet. I already had, I could still feel that like a waves of anxiety, even just thinking about what was to come. And I was like, I don't think it's a good idea. Because what I don't want to do is go back too early, maybe do 1 more and then be done for the week.
Right.
Then I would have only got 4.
Yeah.
I was like, why don't you just be sensible, take the extra day you need, and then finish the week in a nice way, which was back-to-back Ironmans.
Yeah.
So that's what I decided to do.
Yeah.
By the time I got up on that 6th day, the sort of first of the last 2 days, I felt fresh, felt fine.
Yeah.
Felt ready, enjoyed it, got to the pool, smiling, joking around with everyone.
Yeah.
Did the swim. The support on the swim was incredible. There was just like loads of random people down the glider.
Yeah.
Coming and cheering me on. Like this lovely old retired firefighter called Patricia, I think her name is. She came over and she said to me, she was like, "Oh, I'm glad you're back. I'm glad you decided to come back out." She said, "Usually I only do 10 lengths in the morning, but I've seen you absolutely slogging it for the last few days. So now I did 20 this morning." It's like, oh, class.
Nice. a ripple effect.
Yeah.
Two inches to get fit. Did you do an interview with the BBC as well?
Yeah, so I've done bits and bobs. I've done a couple of radio interviews.
Okay.
Did one with BBC London, one with BBC Radio Solent, and a local one called Riverside Radio. And then I don't know how they got wind of it, but the main BBC breakfast show caught hold of it. And they're like, "We need to speak to you one morning." Right. And they picked the morning that I had that complete implosion. So I had it penciled in, and I got about 2k into the swim, and I was like, I can't do it today. This is impossible.
Yeah.
So I got out, told everyone I wasn't doing it. They're like, "Well, you've got the BBC interview." And I was like, I still need to do that, obviously, because at that point I could have been like, I don't want to do it. Yeah. But the key was to try and raise as much money as I could. And I thought, well, by doing the interview, then I'll just be able to raise even more money. Yeah. So we still did the interview, and then obviously I didn't have control of my social media or anything at the time. Yeah. A couple of my good friends, Alex and Ollie, put out a post saying like, "Rob's had a bit of they tumble and decide to take a bit of time off. The BBC one, it was I couldn't really see much. It was just it was my phone on a tripod in front of me.
Okay.
So I couldn't see what they were seeing. I couldn't see what everyone was seeing on the TV.
Okay.
I could just hear my friends over in the background at the Lido, like watching it on their phone, shouting and screaming. And
That's amazing.
Keep it down at the back.
Yeah. Yeah. So it was like the breakfast show.
Yeah. It's like it didn't really get. We didn't really get much press for obviously for ages. A lot of people think you won't do it. Well, to be honest, a lot of them were right because I didn't do the full 7 in the end. But it was in that last month it really exploded.
Really.
There was just like all sorts of people coming for you.
Really?
Yeah, saying, can you come to do an interview here? Can you do an interview there?
Really?
Yeah. I had like 3 days full of just media stuff.
Really?
I was like, well, what is this? Like, I don't understand this.
I'm just going to do it full time.
Yeah. Yeah, so I don't want to do surgery.
Yeah. I guess, being a doctor as well, it's kind of, you must have obviously quite a lot of knowledge that, was probably quite helpful, I'd imagine. Obviously specialising in, kind of like nutritional, like sports medicine might be even more helpful. But I was kind of thinking if you're training to be a doctor, training to be a surgeon, like the challenges you go through with that, whether that's anything similar to the training for this, or
I think so. I think there's a lot of tick box stuff, and a lot of times where there's a lot of things you don't want to do, you've got to do them anyway.
Yeah.
Those are the hard training sessions that make a difference, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like when you're motivated and you really want to do something, they're easy training sessions.
Yeah.
It's the ones where you're like tipping it down outside and you think, I don't want to go out today. Same in surgical training, to be fair. There's a lot of stuff that you think, this isn't going to really benefit me. Why do I have to do it? You still have to do it anyway.
Yeah.
And you look back on it and you think, no, it did benefit me.
Yeah.
So you could definitely draw on some of those things, 100%.
Yeah.
But obviously a lot of new stuff that I've never experienced before.
Yeah.
I think there was one training session around Richmond, and I hadn't looked at the forecast beforehand. Right. Stupid. And I got about halfway around, and it was like hailstones, like as big as your fingernails. They were enormous, and I was just in one cycling jersey, no jacket.
Oh my god.
And I was like, frostbite, this is how it ends. I'll learn a lesson there. So yeah.
Nice. And again, I guess it's also interesting to think about if you do anything similar in the future. Or is it too early to be kind of...
I was having a good chat actually with a few friends. What would I do next?
Yeah.
I think I'm the type of person I need something to like structure me, because now I feel a bit lost. Like, what do I do now? I think I'll carry on doing Ironmans, but I'll just do them. I won't do any sort of endurance consecutive ones. I'll just do singular ones, maybe halves. Yeah, but try and be competitive at them.
Okay, nice.
I think that'd be a bit more fun.
Yeah.
There was some chat about what challenge would I do next.
Yeah.
And I was having a little browse around online. Nobody cycled to all of the capitals of Europe yet.
Really?
Somebody cycled to the 28 European Union capitals.
Okay.
And nobody cycled to all. I think it's about 46, 48. Obviously, a couple of them will be out of action, like Kiev, and probably wouldn't get to Moscow.
Yeah.
But whether it get to 40 of them.
I wonder how long that would take.
The guy who did the 28 did it in 6 months.
Okay.
But I don't know. He was doing it solo, so he had everything latched onto his bike, and just went for it. I reckon I could talk my dad into coming in an RV behind me. He'd be all over that.
Is he retired?
He's planning, I think, on retiring in the next couple of years.
Then he can go full time with you.
Exactly. I don't know what my mum would say about it, but so maybe it would be a tricky one with work. I don't know what I'd do there, whether I'd take some time out. Don't get me wrong, I absolutely love my job. I need a balance. And if that means taking time out to do challenges like this, then I've got to do it.
Yeah, definitely. And you hear people like David Goggins talk about like the cookie jar, and I guess for you now, this is like probably one of the biggest kind of cookie jar kind of moments where anything kind of hard that comes up, you can always kind of almost kind of stretch you. I guess you've been stretched, so things that may have seemed hard probably won't seem as hard in the future. And
it's interesting you mentioned that cookie jar. So I remember thinking about it on one of the bike rides.
Yes.
I tried not to. I consciously had that cookie jar in the back of my mind. I was like, don't delve into it until at least the last 50k.
Yeah.
Because like, then you're over halfway through the day and you can delve in all you want.
Yeah, yeah.
It's quite a powerful tool. It does work.
Yeah.
Start thinking of like nice memories or things that motivate you or whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
But I think if you delve too deep and then the jar's empty, then you're in trouble.
Yeah, yeah.
And maybe this whole experience will now be a big cookie that will sit in that jar.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
for when I need it. But yeah, I think the thing you hit the nail on the head there, which was obviously I had my limit of where I thought I was before.
Yeah.
And I've probably gone past that, failed to get 7, but still got 5. It's still way past what I would ever have tried to achieve before. Yeah. I think that's what I was saying to a lot of my friends and family. A lot of people who are messaging me on Instagram are saying, don't be afraid to like go for that big dream where people are like, you won't get it.
Yeah,
it's very easy to just create a mundane list of tick box things that you can tick off easily. Anyone can do that.
Yeah.
But if you go for that big thing, even if you fall, you still probably achieve more than what you would have done.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. Yeah, because I mean, there's also, I definitely don't think. I mean, I definitely don't think it was a failure. Obviously, getting 5 over 7, but if you look at Ross Edgley, a lot of his attempts, like he said, you know, he'd done incredible things, but you know, quite a few of them have been ones that he's have to like do again. Or, and it's almost kind of, like he said, just it's almost like the journey, not the destination. A lot of time.
100%.
I'd love to cycle from like the top of America all the way down to the bottom. And it's always just seemed like it's a ridiculous goal, but these kind of conversations make me want to do it. Yeah,
I've done the Widthways one.
Have you?
I can recommend that.
Is that the like walking one or?
No, we just made it. We went from New York to San Francisco.
Really?
Yeah.
Cycling?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, that was when we were young. We were like 17, 18. But yeah, just hired an RV that followed us and just cycled.
That's mad.
So it's a lot easier, I'd say, than what you'd think it would be. But that coastal road on the west coast that goes from top to bottom, that's like beautiful. So if you get a chance to do that, 100%. Just finding the time.
Exactly. Yeah, that's it. It's like just not have a job for a year.
Yeah, exactly. Just go and do it.
But I did a cycling trip recently. It was kind of nothing on the same scale, but it was a lot of climbing. And what I learned ages ago was if I count backwards from 1,000, that's like the way I'll just keep my mind like focused. And I wondered if you had any like tricks like that when you're kind of grinding it out, either in the training or if obviously we talked about the cookie jar thing, but do you ever have any little things that kind of help
keep you occupied? On the bike, I will consciously make an effort to turn my bike computer to just map, so that I can't see what speed I'm going and what distance I'm at, or how long I've got left. I found that quite tricky. I will also, if I feel myself thinking about something in the future, I'll then tell myself, snap back into what's happening now.
Nice.
Because otherwise you find yourself getting down a rabbit run in your mind, going to funny places. Obviously easier said than done. When you're tired, it's very easy to slip down that rabbit run.
100%.
That 1,000 one, I like that one. I'll try that.
It's good because what I learned was if my like counting became quite bad, it was when I was getting knackered, I just needed some carbs and like. But then also, it almost like it's not hard, but it requires like a kind of weird amount of focus.
Yeah, you have to probably think about it.
I've basically got like a running injury like YouTube channel, which is just kind of starting really. But along the way with this kind of training block, so you had some ITBS, some knee pain.
Yeah, I just had a lot of lateral knee pain. I thought it was maybe my collateral ligament, but I hadn't had any shearing injuries or anything. I previously tore my patella tendon, but that was all medial, so I didn't know what it was. But then luckily I got an MRI through some health insurance, and it was just a load of fluid around the IT line. So literally just strapped it and took loads of non-steroidals.
Nice.
Unfortunately, rest wasn't an option.
I was going to say,
But just made like small modifications, changed the saddle height on my bike. When I was running, if I needed to run walk, I'd run walk and not just run the whole thing.
I remember you talked to me about that.
Which worked okay then. Even with the run walk, I still did the marathon in like 4:40.
Yeah.
So it's fine. It's just making sure I walk quickly.
Yeah.
But I'd say that was the biggest one that I had, was that IT van.
Yeah.
And shin splints caused me a hell of an issue.
But
again, I didn't really have the option to rest. So
Yeah.
I was doing lots of research. I became a proper nerd about like gait analysis and what I could tweak and insoles and everything.
Yeah.
It seemed to work.
Yeah.
And now I can even feel, sort of walking here today, if I overstride because I'm trying to get somewhere quickly, I can start to feel it again. I'm like, oh, my stride's too big, I need to tail back a bit.
Yeah, no, there's definitely some interesting research around overstriding and cadence and the sort of angle in which your tibia lands and stuff like that. But it is very, very stubborn. Yeah, it's kind of that bone remodeling that just takes a long time.
I was unfortunately, I think, looking for quick fixes. It was quite tricky.
Yeah.
But it worked in the end.
Yeah.
Like I say, the body held up absolutely fine.
Yeah.
Which was good. Don't get me wrong, I was getting like the same pains that I always get.
Yeah.
But it was just sort of taking lots of stomach protectors and naproxen, strapping and whatever.
Yeah. Because
it worked.
I think I've heard a few other people like, is it Patterson? I can't remember his guy from Made in Chelsea.
JP.
Yeah. JP. Yeah. That he was taking like tramadol and stuff like that to kind of get around
it. I think that's when you think, probably at the limit.
But I guess, I mean, it's probably the same with that guy that had a schizo where he's kind of going up and down.
He is next level.
Yeah.
I don't know, after doing that for 5 days and the state my feet were in, still are in now, I don't know how he did that.
Yeah.
For that long.
Yeah.
Like, that is just wild.
Yeah. I think I've heard him talk a tiny bit about injuries that he picked up, that obviously picked up and then just didn't really shake off and just had this long list of injuries.
I saw him having like spinal x-rays because he thought I had a lumbar spine fracture. So like repetitive strain. What? Like, can't even comprehend it.
No. Yeah, it's like another level. So this week you're off work and then,
back to it next Monday.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it, to be fair. I feel like there was always this constant voice in the back of my head nagging me when I was at work. Right. Thinking like, you need to go and do this training session, you need to go and do that.
Right.
So I would spend as long as I needed to at work. I was never leaving early or anything, but when I was leaving, I was then being quick about it and going and doing whatever training session I needed to do. Any day off, I was like training for like sometimes like 10, 12 hours a day.
Seriously.
It's just getting silly.
Yeah.
Whereas now I feel like that pressure's all off. I'm probably going to get incredibly fat.
Yeah.
I don't really care. I'm going to enjoy it.
Yeah.
But I feel like I'm like ready to dive straight back into work now.
Yeah.
And that will probably be my thing that I've become a little bit obsessed with now instead of the training, which I'm happy with.
Yeah.
I enjoy it.
How many hours of training were you doing per week?
I'd say some weeks, probably at the peak, 40 more.
Seriously? Like a full working week?
Yeah. I was doing, some days I was doing like, what did I do? I did 75% Ironmans back to back.
Yeah.
And then I did like 3 half Ironmans at the weekend or something like that.
Yeah.
I was really trying to push it to the limit because I thought at that point, I was convinced that my body would give up on me during the challenge.
Yeah.
So I was like, I really need to put the hard work in now.
Yeah. I
missed like every single social event on Canada. I missed them, birthdays, everything.
Yeah.
Didn't drink for 10 months.
Yeah.
Went on some crazy diet and lost like 12 kilos. I was like trying everything.
Really?
Yeah. But I probably didn't train the mind as well as I probably could have done.
Okay.
How I would have done that, I don't know.
That's what I was going to say. I mean,
I don't know.
Yeah. I guess because so few people have done what what you've done. Yeah, you'd have quite a really limited amount of places you could learn.
I even tried to train myself to perform when like extremely fatigued. So I do like a 12-hour night shift at the hospital, and then I'll go do like a half Ironman in the morning. And by the end of that, I was like, that's a bit free too. But I was like, that was with no sleep for like however many hours. So I kind of understood that, but I didn't realise how similar it would feel after consecutive days.
Yeah.
Because you're not getting, this is what I didn't understand, you're not getting, like, it's not like you're getting 5-6 hours of solid sleep where you're properly asleep. It was, I'd get out of the ice bath, I'd feel absolutely fine, have a massage, go to bed, I'd wake up within an hour, like frantically shaking, like shivering, as if I was cold, but I wasn't cold.
Right.
I was really, really hot to touch.
Right.
And then I'd fall back asleep, and I'd wake up an hour later, and I'd be like drenched in sweat.
Seriously?
I don't know what was happening.
Adrenaline or something.
Yeah, I've got no idea.
Yeah.
And then obviously 2-3 hours later, I had to get out. You could just, I could tell by that 4th day it was enough. Everything was starting to shut down. Like, stomach didn't want to work.
Yeah.
Like, felt dehydrated. Urine was really dark. Diarrhea. Everything.
Yeah.
I was like, it's probably a bit too much now.
Yeah. There is a part of me that does kind of want to keep an eye on what you get up to next.
Yeah.
Just.
I'll keep you posted.
I bet you'll get the bug, and
there's going to be something. I can feel it already.
Yeah.
There'll be something. I don't know what it'll be. I think there'll be something small in between. Like, I'll do like a couple of half Ironmans or something.
Yeah.
So there's one in Mallorca in May. It looks quite nice.
Yeah.
I'll go there and have a go at that.
That'd be that.
I think it's nice in the back of my head now. I get it in work. Everyone in work gets it. Like this imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
Where you think, I don't deserve to be here. This is ridiculous.
Yeah.
And I feel like whenever I've gone to those Ironman events before, or like I've consciously never gone to a run club.
Right.
It's always been like, I don't deserve to be here. I'm not a runner. So why would I go?
Yeah.
Whereas now I feel like I've like earned my badge by doing this. So I can now go, and everyone went like, oh, who's this freak turning up?
Yeah.
So I think I'll a couple of half Ironmans, join a run club maybe. Yeah. See what I do.
Yeah, it's a huge chapter. When you look back at 2024 and at the end of the year, you'll just be like, wow.
Yeah, it'll be that whole thing. It's quite nice. I'm going to Movember. They do like their launch thing for November.
Yeah.
At the end of September.
Okay.
And it's at the Clapham Ground.
Oh, nice.
And they're like, oh, would you mind coming and speaking?
Yeah,
so it'd be quite cool to have you speak about what happened in the middle of the week and how you like try to resurrect it. And all that sort of thing. Yeah, of course. Yeah. Don't know what I got myself in for there. I don't know how many people there'd be. Probably be a bundle of mess by then, but they're the things that will be like the enjoyable side of it now, isn't it?
Yeah, because it did look like the pictures of like race, what was it 4 and 5? It looked like they were like all smiles and like
I love
really having a good time. Yeah,
I really enjoyed it by then because I knew the end was near. I knew that I'm not going to be able to do something like this again. Yeah, so I thought just go and enjoy it as much as you can. All your friends have come out. Yeah. I came to the run on the last day and. There was like 10 or 15 of my mates at my house waiting for me.
Really?
Yeah. And so I came in with the bike, got changed quickly, and off we went.
Really?
So it was special. It was good, and it's like I think one of the photos that one of my mates put up on that 4th day was like the smile is back. Yeah. So I felt like I was like enjoying it. I had a very good mate with me who very kindly he come down from Liverpool to come cycling with me. Oh, right. He's a really good cyclist, and he came and joined. And it was nice to be able to, obviously you got your mates there so you can have a good chat and everything. But I think you sometimes lose track when you're in this like intense training periods of how far you've probably come from what you were to what you are when you actually do the event. Yeah. And what is like classed as normal. Yeah. And I was thinking normal before was like an arm session and a 5K run, and I was done. I was like getting the burgers on the barbie on the way home. Yeah. Whereas I think when you train for something big like that, the new goalpost of like back-to-back Ironman, I was like, oh, that's given. Like, why wouldn't I want to do that? Yeah. And it was, he said to me, he won't like saying this as well. He said to me, he's a very good cyclist. And we got to the end of the second day. He was like, mate, I didn't expect you to be so good. He was like, I thought I was going to be out front pulling you the whole way. He was like, but I couldn't keep up. I was like, that's the proudest part of this whole challenge. I'll take that.
Nice. That's the biggest compliment, yeah. So did you grow up in Liverpool? Or?
I just went to uni there.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, so with my dad working on cruise ships, they often sail out of Liverpool. Okay. So we'll go back there this week. Because he literally just came home just for this challenge and then he goes back for another 3 months.
Okay. Nice.
So we'll go up there on the train on Thursday and stay for the weekend. Yeah. I'll see that friend who we were cycling with, go out for dinner with him, his fiance and whatnot. Yeah. Okay, nice. Reminisce about some dark times in Windsor Park we had. But no, it's like that, was it? Is it type 2 fun? Where you don't enjoy the time, you look back on it and that's cool. Yeah. Probably a bit of that.
Yeah, no, almost like delayed gratification. Yeah. Massive congrats, and
thanks very much.
Hope the rest of your recovery goes well. Yeah. Obviously, done. Yeah.